and gentlemen, I am Trisha with Insectopia. So we're going to be looking at the bees, the wasps, and the ants. All bees, wasps, and ants, they're going to have 4 wings, a front wing and a hind wing, chewing mouth parts. Some of them stink, some of them don't. The first family that we're going to get into are the Siricidae. Doop, doop, doop. All of the horntails are going to have this kind of spear-like on the end of the abdomen. The female's going to have this long ovipositor. The next one that we wanted to get into are the Ichneumon. Right here, people say that that looks like a horse head. It has this kind of upside-down boot shape. All Ichneumonids are going to have this horse head shape. I don't know if you've heard of the Chalcididae. They are a very, very small Hymenopteran. The femur of the Chalcididae are super, super enlarged. It almost looks like they have jumping back legs. The Sphecidae, if you look, has a very, very, very thin waist. This is going to be one of the characteristics for Sphecidae. They've got this lobe on the pronotum, and it doesn't reach the tegula, right about here. The Crabronidae used to be inside of the family of Sphecidae. I guess the common Crabronid that you would recognize is this guy right here. He's a cicada killer. This is that lobe on the pronotum that was characteristic for Sphecidae, but is also characteristic for Crabronids. It doesn't have that really narrow waist. Have some really, really beautiful Hymenopterans. The Halictidae are some of the prettiest. This is a sweat bee. Halictidae use a structural color instead of a pigmented color. This is the marginal cell, or the cell that's on the margin of the wing. And then submarginal would be the ones underneath it. Okay, so we have Halictidae have 1, 2, 3 submarginal cells. That's characteristic for the family. This vein right here, it has a really pretty, beautiful arch on it. So if you have 3 submarginal cells and an arch, you know it's a halictid. I don't know if you have ever gone out to your garden and noticed that there were perfectly circular cutouts of your leaves. That's what leafcutter bees do. They've got these long hairs on the underside of the abdomen. All right, we call this the scopa. This is where megachilids or leafcutter bees store their pollen. If we're looking at the wing venation on a megachilid, and the submarginal cells are these 2. Megachilids only have 2 submarginal cells. These are bees. Apids, we are talking about your common, everyday, run-of-the-mill bees. The apids have 3 submarginal cells. 1, 2, 3. But then when we're taking the second characteristic, we're looking at the M vein, which is right here. And that is your characteristics in the wing and how you're going to be able to identify these guys. This right here is actually a large chunk of pollen that is still stuck to the hind leg. We're going to be talking about Tiphiidae. Right here we have one kind of triangular projection, and we have here we have another one. And Tiphiidae are the only Hymenopteran that have these. This next specimen is a Scoliid. If you are looking at the ends of the wings of a Scoliid, you'll notice that they have all of these very, very fine lines. They definitely look like fingerprints. You'll notice in Scoliids, the cocci are separated. All right, the next one we're talking about are the Mutilids. The Mutilids are also known as velvet ants. All velvet ants are going to have this felt line or a line of thicker hairs. All right, so the Pompilids are known as the spider wasps. The one that we're going to be looking at today is a tarantula hawk. These are big wasps. They actually rate the highest on the Schmidt Pain Index at a 4.0. What I'm talking about is right up here on the side of his thorax. And if you look right here, it's got this suture that splits the mesiopomeron in half. That's the characteristic for the family. When we're talking about the Vespids, these are kind of like the basic wasps. Kind of like the Apidae were kind of like the basic bees. we want to be looking at this really, really long cell right here. This is the D cell. In Vespids, it's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly long. All right, so those are the Vespids. And then the final family we're going to be looking at are the Formicides, or the ants. The metasoma is generally what looks like a thorax, right? And this is going to be your abdomen back here. And on your waist, in between those two segments, ants are going to have nodes, or these segments, or these lumps in between the segments. Ants are going to have these elbowed antennae. Termites' antenna don't have this angle. A termite antenna almost looks like a string of pearls. I hope that everybody has really enjoyed their time with me today. It's about an hour and a half. I hope that you've all enjoyed hanging out with me today, and I hope that you do come back. Tuesday is the next live stream, and we are going to be talking beetles. And I have all different kinds of really cool beetles. The beetles are going to be really fun to identify because we have so many, and I might actually have to break the beetles up into two live streams because it might just be too much. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on Tuesday from 9 to 10, or next Thursday from 2 to 3. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.